everyone, welcome back to class. My name is Professor Zenobia Bennefield, and today I'm going to be teaching about neurodiversity in the classroom. So I actually, as I was preparing for this, realized I've been touching on this lecture as I talked about socioeconomic status and gender and sexuality and even the media. So I'm just going to highlight the big points. I think that in terms of what can we do as educators within the classroom, or even the people that support educators, there's a couple of things that we can do, right? We can make sure that our curriculum, our testing, our activities, our assessments are all inclusive of different learning styles, different testing styles, different ways that brains function and perceive. We can create flexible classrooms where people who have different, I would say, I guess it could fall under learning styles. Like some kids like to be mobile, some kids like to be up and running around, some kids like to be sort of having this side activity going on. I had a student last year who colored my whole lecture, and it was great for him and helped him focus. So just having those resources available. Of course, as educators, we can continue to get training, get continuing education like this, to learn more about the people that we serve. So there are definitely things that we can do. But I'm telling you, as I was thinking about that, the next very thought that I had was that one teacher in the room or listening to this who's going to think, but when am I supposed to have time to do that? I know I have taught teachers enough to know that the minute you start telling them extra stuff they need to do, they start thinking, okay, sure, when? Because most of them are already doing way too much. And then if they had the time, they don't have the training. A lot of them don't have the training to do the extra things that we ask them to do. And then, quite frankly, they're not paid enough, right? They are not paid enough to take on all of this extra responsibility and not be compensated. And so as I was thinking about what does this mean to think about neurodiversity in the classroom, I thought about what is our responsibility as people who support educators? Because if we care about neurodivergent people, and especially neurodivergent children in classrooms, then we have to care about their teachers. And that means that we have to think about what is our responsibility as parents of children in schools? How do we support our kids' teachers, whether it's buying stuff off of their Amazon wish list, treating them to lunch every once in a while, or advocating for them to the administration and to the school board? As voters, how do we bear responsibility to support our teachers? Is it that we have to be more critical consumers of who's running for office and really analyze what it is that they stand for when it comes to education? I think it's really interesting in the past couple of moments in time, we've argued a lot, we being American society, have argued a lot about what's being taught in classrooms. But there's something that I think we can all agree on, is that teachers are not paid enough, supported enough, or given enough of what they need to do what they have to do, which is a shame, right? Because a lot of the social problems that we have, I would argue as an educator, could be alleviated if we had stronger K-12 bases. And I know that we could do the work that we need to do, but we've got to support the people who are doing it, and you know, pay is not a hard thing. So as we think about neurodiversity in the classroom, I think definitely thinking about the accommodations that we can make, the changes to pedagogy, to policy, to practice, to assessments, like all of those things are super valid. But we can never fail to acknowledge that teaching in classrooms don't happen in a vacuum. They happen in a larger society, and some of the issues that prevent teachers from doing their jobs to the best of their ability are often because of the way we value education, the way we value teachers, and the way we support them as a society. And so these are really individualistic things for us to think about, but I believe, and I tell you, for students who come to my classes, they know that one of the things I do is not only give them information, I try to help them think about how they can apply the information that they've learned to their lives. I tell my students all the time, knowledge is not power. It is the application of knowledge that is powerful. Now, the importance of creating spaces where people can thrive, we also have to think about, well, how do we fund all of this? How do we support all of this? How do we create policy that protects all of this? And that extends beyond the classroom, but it doesn't extend beyond our reach. And that's another thing that I love to encourage my students to believe, is that they have agency, they have power, and that you know, it doesn't always take a lot. Sometimes it just takes each of us doing what we believe is right, wholeheartedly. So yeah, and a shout out to everybody who's already doing this work too, because I know that I think we tend to have a very negative skew on reality, but I think there are more people out here doing good than bad. I just think the bad people are louder. And so shout out to all the people who are out here doing great work. Thank you in advance.